in Sarandon.
Forget his fucking name.
I don't remember.
What's your opponent's name?
I can't fucking remember.
No, I know it.
J something? Jax?
No.
I just
fired
my head coach.
Can I describe him for you?
Yeah.
He's about 6'2".
205 pounds.
Right.
So we don't know the name of the opponent, but we do know the promotion.
Yeah, well, my next fight is June 23rd in Australia. I've been fighting for an organisation called Kings of Combat now for my last 5. This will be my 6th fight for them. I've won all my 5 fights in Australia, and they've got a great fan base out there, and I always get a good rapport from everybody. I think because of the English and the Australians kind of have a unity, and they give me huge support and huge love, and the Australians are massive fight fans. But my next opponent, yeah, he's a tough kid. My last 2 opponents actually beat this guy, but he stepped forward and called me out for this fight, and I don't like to refuse a fight from anybody, and I think just because my last 2 opponents beat him doesn't mean that he can't come up and beat me. The fight game doesn't work like that.
Styles make fights.
It makes no difference, you know, it really doesn't, and I don't underestimate anybody. He's a very tough opponent, tall, he's a big 205 guy, good stand-up. His jiu-jitsu, as far as I'm concerned, is a bit below par compared to his stand-up fighting, and I don't think his wrestling is nowhere near as same as mine. But I train complete now, and this is the big difference in my game, is why I've had such success in my last, the same that we were just talking about in our last interview, is that I train complete. I have full faith in all of my my coaches. I pretty much put my career in their hands, and I just do as I'm told and be there and try and give my all in every training session, regardless of the opponent. And I'm ready to fight for sure.
I've seen you damn near punching a hole through the mitts. When did you link up with Kit, and how's this relationship been going along?
Well, officially, me and Kit, we met in Denver, probably over a year ago.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Just over a year ago, Kit was there to train Joe Warren at another gym, and I was lucky enough to jump on the mitts before I was fighting. It's probably 2 years ago. It was before my fight for UFC 120. I think that was the fight you were training me for. I think it was before my UFC 120 fight. It was like 2 weeks before I was going. I think it was, yeah.
It was right when you stopped training at that other place.
That's
that
right. And we were just going there, and we just kind of gelled. Kit's got a huge reputation in Thai boxing, not just only as a coach, but hugely as a fighter first and foremost. He's had a hell of a lot of fights, and one thing I like working with Kit is that a lot of coaches that I've worked with before try to train you their style. Kit will adapt your style with his techniques. He doesn't try to change who you are, he just tries to add more weapons to my arsenal and keeps my balance the way it is, and took me back to my roots. And that's why we've kind of gelled, and it's, as far as I'm concerned right now, it's an unbreakable relationship.
Kit, is this the new path for you? Head coaching, is that something you're getting into full time now?
Yeah, it is. I really like coaching. I really like coaching these coachable athletes, you know, like, and I'm telling you, just because you're a professional athlete does not mean you're a coachable athlete at all. I've really only found a couple. James is one of the very few. I really like training. I really like his style anyway, and it, you know, I feel like we meld well together. I do see myself kind of going more into the coaching area just because I have the goods. I'm not done fighting though.
Well, I think it goes both ways. There's some coaches out there that would never fought in their lives, and then there's some A-class fighters that could never make a coach if their life depended on it. But then if you have that kind of talent, you can flip from both, and I still think Kit's in great shape, and he's still young, and he's still learning too, and he's still training like a full MMA fighter as well, and won his last MMA fight by round bar. So that goes to show when you've been, and that's something that I had a trouble with at first. I had so many Thai fights and so many K1 fights that it was very hard to adapt my style to MMA, which is completely different. You really have to change how you strike, the level you strike, the combinations you throw, and it took me 2 to 3 years to adapt my style, where now I understand where I need to go with it. And that's why I love working with Kit, is because he takes Thai boxing, traditional Thai boxing and European style Thai boxing, and molds that into MMA Thai boxing. And I think that's just why his success is starting to come through now, and I know for a fact that's why he's pushing my success more too.
Enter code HUB749 for a domain name discount and enter the codes below for other great discounts from GoDaddy.com.